Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan interviewed Alex Jones. What else can I say? Let's just start it. You guys know what's up. Link to his channels in the description.
Do you feel responsible for what happened to the Sandy Hook families?
Yes, I killed the children.
But beyond that,
I went in that school. I pulled a gun out and I shot every one of them myself. I mean, I'm guilty. It's true.
No, but
no. Let's just. Do I feel responsible that someone that played shoot 'em up video games on a bunch of drugs went and killed a bunch of kids, and then the internet questioned it and I covered that?
They staged Sandy Hook. The evidence is just.
Damn, Alex Jones is pulling back to the He's going back to the what was his name? Jack Thompson, the guy who did the crusade against Grand Theft Auto. Jack Thompson was this boomer Floridian lawyer who was like super anti-violent video games back in the day. He ended up getting disbarred and kind of disgraced and isn't relevant anymore, but he was like the leader of the charge against violent video games. So Alex Jones tapping into his inner Jack Thompson.
Overwhelming. We've looked at all sides. We played devil's advocate from both sides.
No, I don't feel responsible, and I don't apologize anymore. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't apologize. I killed the kids.
Was there a definitive?
No, I killed them. I killed him.
You didn't kill him.
No, I did.
No, you didn't.
No, everybody said no. I killed him.
Okay. I see why he did this interview now. It's to throw a pity party. So, no one's saying that Alex Jones was responsible for the death of those kids or the shooting, only that he was responsible for his fans harassing their families, like the families of the dead kids, because he said that the shooting was faked and they were crisis actors. So he's trying to be like, oh, the left is accusing me of literally killing these kids. It's like, what are you talking about? No. Who's saying that you're responsible for their death? You had nothing to do... Like Sandy Hook wasn't even a politically motivated shooting. I mean, okay. Obviously, every shooting is in some way politically motivated, but like, it wasn't even like a right-wing politically motivated shooting, really. Was it? I don't even think anybody's tossed out, like, blame on Alex Jones for the shooting. This just feels disingenuous.
Killed him. I already admitted I did it. I killed him. I'm the bad guy. I'm the devil. Get rid of the First Amendment. Can we move on to other topics?
I don't think...
I killed him. First Amendment killed him. Get rid of the Second Amendment. Get rid of the First Amendment. They're bad. They killed the kids too. George Washington killed him. Jesus killed him.
This is unhinged.
We should rename the whole planet Sandy Hook. Everything. There should be holidays. We should bow 5 times a day to New Haven, Connecticut for the kids that died. Every American's to blame. Every gun owner's to blame. I'm to blame. We're all guilty. To Bloomberg and Soros. Turn our guns in. Turn our guns in. I know. I did it. I killed them. I killed them. I killed them. I know.
For the record, gun control does not seem to have a very strong correlative effect with reducing, like, school shootings. Most gun deaths to begin with are, like, self-inflicted gunshot wounds, accidents, suicide, stuff like that. So personally, I'm not on board with the whole take away the Second Amendment thing. I like guns. Like, I both subjectively, completely based on the fact that I just think they're cool, and I think they're, guns are pretty, and they're cool. And they go boom. And the lead goes flying. It's cool. But besides that, I do think, I don't like the idea of the government deciding, you're not allowed to own guns. It's a little cringe. It's at least a little cringe.
Oh, I killed them. So I'm done talking about it. Okay. I killed them. Okay.
Can we talk about the trial at all?
There's nothing to talk about. Let me tell you, I don't know if I can do this interview right now.
What happens here?
I don't think you should keep doing that.
What? Dude, I murdered those children. I did. I killed them myself.
Still not a funny thing to say. Yeah, I get the point, but it's just like, yeah.
Fuck it, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm far beyond giving a fuck right now.
I understand.
Dude, you want to fucking...
How did he fall for this? gun crime went way down in Australia. Yeah, but the problem is that from what I've seen, when gun crime goes down in a given place due to lack of access to guns, like the crime rate, like the amount of death doesn't change as much outside of like, obviously gun control prevents suicides a lot, you know, but it doesn't really seem to affect like stabbings and other forms of violent, like there are mass stabbings. I used to cringe at conservatives and shit when they talk about that stuff, but no, I've done a little bit of research, and there definitely is some merit to the idea that disarming the population from firearms would not even come close to being a solution. Yeah. Not to mention there are more guns than people in this country, so like it's a really hard place to start. Like, these countries started off pretty well with, like, trying to implement gun control. Like, even gun buyback programs, ATF raids on people suspected of owning illegal firearms and then destroying them. Like, even all the things you could do to try to reduce the amount of guns in existence in America, like, there's just so many. Like, there's so much, there's, like, the amount of work, effort, resources it takes to do that alone, I think that those resources could be reallocated elsewhere, and that would actually solve, in many cases, the root of the problem. Don't you think that maybe the risk of people shooting themselves in the head would be lesser if everybody had the ability to just go see a therapist? Or if the possibility of literally just becoming homeless and not having anywhere to go or anything to do with your life it being an option? Like, don't you think these are things that, you know, we could... most of the things that the left posits as solutions for most of the problems in our society would no doubt also have a very strong causative impact on gun violence and all violence, most likely. Red flag laws are bad. Red flag laws are bad and cringe and bad. Okay, that is, yeah, they're straight up. Yeah, no, I don't like red flag laws. Every time I like look into it, it's just like, okay, yeah, this seems like a loophole for the government to find an excuse to say they're legally taking your guns without having legal cause to do so. Just saying they think you might be a risk of violence, even though there's no actual, like, evidence that you are a violent person. Yeah, a little cringe.
Take me on.
No, but I'm just saying, they really, that wasn't their intention.
A jury in the Alex Jones trial ordering the conspiracy theorists to pay $45.2 million to parents who lost their 6-year-old son in the Sandy Hook massacre for calling it a hoax.
Every sin ever committed on earth in 10,000 years of history, I did it. The Night Stalker, the Zodiac Killer, I did it. Vietnam War, Hitler. I was actually Hitler. It wasn't Hitler. It was me. I did it. I was in a time machine in Germany. I did all that, okay? I did everything. And that's what I accept. So you're here with the bad guy. You're here with the villain. Lex Luthor, right now. You're talking to him right now. You're talking to Lex Luthor. How's it feel?
I don't know why, but that just reminded me of a comment I got on one of my videos recently. I said that I didn't understand why people were posting pictures of the new Italian prime minister upside down, like a bat. And someone commented, it's a reference to Benito Mussolini being hanged upside down and like mutilated and killed and all that. And I was like, oh yeah. And I commented, I hope this comment ends up becoming a meme one day, because I feel like it was a good one. I said, oh yeah, I forgot about the Benito banner. I don't know why, but I was really proud of that one. I just got reminded of it. I feel like that's a pretty funny one. Fucking Benito banner. That's I pulled that from the Celebrim banner because of spoiler for Rings of Power, spoiler for Lord of the Rings, spoiler for the Silmarillion, spoiler for basically everything that happens in the Second Age of Middle-earth in Tolkien's writing. Sauron tricks Celebrimbor into crafting the Rings of Power and then kills him and turns him into a banner. So, yeah, they call it the Celebrim banner, so it's the Benito banner. All right, spoilers over. Spoilers over.
You don't feel like Lex Luthor to me.
I invented cancer.
How?
I just did it. Doesn't matter. I created death.
This is just...
People didn't die before I was born.
I don't know what to say.
Heartburn. I created
I created death. People didn't die before I was born. That is the greatest Alex Jones quote that has ever been uttered. That is the greatest Alex Jones quote that has ever been uttered. I invented death. Nobody died before I was born.
I created hangovers. I created...
Alex Jones shattered the Elden Ring. Alex Jones corrupted the Ashbringer. Alex Jones cursed Frostmourne. Alex Jones gave Arthas Menethil the f***ing helmet. Alex Jones crafted the One Ring. Alex Jones ignited Mount Doom. Alex Jones sunk Numenor. Alex Jones sunk Balerion. Alex Jones enslaved the hobbits. I don't know. Yeah.
Gingivitis.
That's a bad one.
I created hair loss. I created
I believe it.
acne.
Okay.
I wish you didn't do that one.
I created bad breath.
I wish you didn't do that one.
Now that we've accepted.
That's a good joke. I will admit, my man might have. Don't hypers in chat if you have acne, and you pick it, or like squeeze it, or all that like kind of stuff. Stop doing it, please. I didn't do it, and oh my god, am I glad I didn't. Like, my mom was obsessed with popping zits, so she would insist on trying to pop my like pimples when I was a teenager. But I insisted, like, I'd run away and like insist that she didn't, and instead I would just use soap. Like, I got this like orange, like Lika's. Lika's. What's the mango? Or it's mango? No, what's the plant? It's made from like a fruit. It's soap. It's a bar of soap. It's orange. Papaya soap. It's Likas. Papaya soap. Yeah. It's pretty good. I would just use that on my face. It's pretty good at breaking down grease and helping with your skin, though you do need to moisturize after using it too much because it dries out your face. And I would just use that on any zits that I had, no matter how poppable they looked. I got to a point where I was like, nope, not popping it. I'm just going to clean it. I'm going to put some, I would also get this stuff called Differin, which is like a non-prescription thing that you just rub, like it's a cream you rub into your face and it just kind of, you leave it there and it helps. And I would just rub that in before I went to bed. And after a couple days, my face would be clear. And I just kept up that regimen. And generally, I had a pretty clear face. Not always, but generally I did. I don't know why I just got like stun locked about acne, but yeah, don't pick your acne when you like have it, because it does break the skin and it like causes scarring over time that you don't even realize. Like it won't be until you stop having acne as much around like your 21, 22 is usually when people stop getting as much acne. Not always, but usually that's when I stopped getting it as much. That's when you'll start to realize like, oh crap, I've got a bunch of acne scarring because I was popping zits. So yeah, you don't do it. Just clean it. Just clean your face. Just wash your face and resist. And if your mom is the same, like Witchy Haven just said, then run away and hide, because you will get acne scarring. And it's just, it doesn't mean you're like bad looking. It's not a bad thing. But if you don't want to have acne scarring, then I guess there's my advice on how not to get acne scarring. There you go.
I invented Prozac that Adam Lanza was on. I had his mom buying the AR-15, give it to him. I was there. Yeah. Did you know that all money in the universe was created by Sandy Hook? It was a time machine. Before the Rothschilds created fractional reserve banking, before tally sticks, before gold coins, the Roman era, it was the Sandy Hook event that created all money, future and forward. Yeah. Everything is that. Everything.
I mean, how do you feel about like how your attorney did overall?
They said I was guilty beforehand because they couldn't have a real trial because they had 24 minutes out of 10 years of me talking about it. Most of them me saying it happened. It's sick. It's disgusting. I was being sarcastic earlier. I didn't kill the children. I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. I didn't invent hemorrhoids. I simply question things, and they're trying to demonize me to say questioning things is a bad deal.
And elementary school massacre, 26 dead, 27 dead now.
December 14th, 2012, 3 hours after Sandy Hook. Holy shit. I remember when Sandy Hook happened. I was at school. I was in 6th grade. No, was I? No, I was in 7th grade. Yeah, I was in 7th grade, if I remember correctly. And I remember hearing the word Sandy Hook for the first time while waiting to be picked up through the like drive-through lane at school. Like school was ending, if I remember correctly, and that was when I first started hearing that. Like apparently the shooting had happened like right as school was wrapping up anyway. Like so it was like yeah, the news hit as we were literally getting picked up by parents. So I guess. I remember that moment pretty vividly. That's surprising. I wasn't like a scarring or traumatizing moment. It's just, I guess in hindsight, it ended up being such a substantial event because I have to talk about Sandy Hook so much. At the time, I didn't realize like how much gravitas it would have. But now back, like looking back in hindsight, I remember that moment very vividly. Jesus, nearly 10 years ago now? Oh God, you're right. Wow. Old.
Now, 18 kids in Connecticut. When you got small children, this really gets to you. That's why the globalists use children's deaths to go after our guns, because they know it gets to us. So don't ever think the globalists that have hijacked this country wouldn't stage something like this. They kill little kids all day, every day. And it's not our government. It's the globalist. I really think they're going to try.
I really wish that it's nothing new. Conservatives using like real things for their narrative, right? The Epstein, Weinstein, there's tons of like in Hollywood and in like corporate settings and stuff like that where women are like, particularly women, you know, are like sexually harassed and, you know, like sexually assaulted even and forced into silence. Children are even taken advantage of and sexually assaulted or sexually harassed. I highly recommend checking out. You know what? We're watching Mr. Epsion's new video on, would you guys want me to react to Mr. Epsion's new video on Dan Schneider? That could be an interesting react.
Try to come after the guns. It's going to start a civil war.
I clearly believe from the evidence, children were really killed in Sandy Hook, and it's a real tragedy. Unfortunately, evidence is beginning to come out. People who've been coached, people who've been given cue cards, people who are behaving like actors.
I dropped Billy off and watched him go around the corner, and he never came back, all because of the guns. Won't you just turn your guns in for my son? I mean, folks, we've got video of Anderson Cooper with clear blue screen out there.
Nothing can account for what happens to his nose.
What?
Early on, I said, well, they had to have killed somebody. I mean, this doesn't make sense. Then parents come out and start laughing and then turn to the camera and cry. No one died in 2012 in Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured.
Man, I wonder why he lost the case. I wonder why, with all of his millions and all the media support he had, he still lost the case. I mean, media support from his side, to be clear. Man, I wonder, dude. I wonder how that happened. Must have been a bias. He legit built the case against himself. Like, yeah, why would he just lie? Like, his best defense was always that he's, like, the best defense he always could have just, like, gone to and should have stayed with. His best chance was always, I'm an entertainer, and nobody should take what I say seriously. Which completely discredits everything he says, but at the very least, that's like a better chance of getting him out of legal trouble when we're talking about a defamation suit in America.
I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are. People come to me in hotels and in grocery stores, and I'll be walking my dog, and they just go,
the car will go, "Roar! You son of a bitch, quit, leave those kids alone." And I'll be like, I never talk about it at the meeting. Shut up, you. And some people have confronted me in front of my wife and children and said, "You son of a bitch, you killed those kids." No one knows who Adam Lanza is. When you ask somebody about Sandy Hook, it's Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So I did not kill the children.
But do you
So that is true. I do think that when people think Sandy Hook, they probably think of Alex Jones before they think of the shooter. Yeah, I think that's probably the case, yeah. But I don't think that's anything to do with, like, the left or the shooting itself. I think that's to do with the fact that Alex Jones used the shooting as an opportunity to grow his platform, and it backfired on him. You know, he took the gamble and he failed. He rolled a nat 1.
do you feel any sense of responsibility for the way the lives of the Sandy Hook families were affected?
An emotional day of testimony after 3 family members whose loved ones were murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary School took the stage.
Also, it's arguably good that we don't know the shooter's name, but then at the same time, the same people who are always like, don't spread the name of this white boy who shot up the school, but then like the next day, like a terrorist attack happens, and like if it's a brown guy, then the guy's face and name is all over the news. Yeah, that's always a thing. I do get a little iffed out about that shit.
Stand describing the harassment they endured as a result of Alex Jones.
Yeah, like if the story is like Altair ibn Lahad like shot, or I guess it would be like hidden bladed like 50 people in like the street, like that, then you know they'd have that all over the news. That's the main character of Assassin's Creed 1, by the way. Don't call me racist. Like if you had Altair like fucking hidden blading 50 people on the street, you know, like that would be all over the news. Altair would be all over the news. Him and his hood would be all over the news because, well, I think there's a difference in how we treat non-white, you know, like people who commit terrorism to white people who commit terrorism, right? Especially if they are, you know, Muslim, or if they come from a Muslim majority country. Usually, you know, it's usually pretty common. You know, it's a very, very, very common thing.
Jones' false statements.
People were, you know, accusing me of lying, telling me Ben never lived, telling me that I was going to burn in hell and that I would pay for what I had done.
Hensel testified that after her husband Jeremy committed suicide in 2019, people went to their daughter Avielle's gravesite looking for evidence the family was faking his death.
I couldn't wrap my head around just one more family member being part of this narrative.
You know, it's an industry. It's a business. They got $73 million from Remington. They've sued all these different groups and people. So no, I didn't kill their kids. I already said I was sorry before they ever sued me. And now they've just attached themselves to my name and who I am. They can get all the judgments they want against me. I have hardly any money. All those articles you see, it's like made up. Almost all of it's not even true.
You're not.
I like how he says I've hardly got any money in his studio with all of his books stacked up behind him with like all of his branding and everything. If I was on the right, I could literally just lie to you guys and say, yeah, man, I'm so broke. Yeah, man, we right-wingers, we don't make any money on YouTube, dog. Yeah, YouTube's always putting us down. 5 million views in this video. Don't pay attention to that. YouTube demonetized this. It made like $3. Don't think about how much this video actually made. Dude, conservative content creators do that all the time.
Not doing too good money-wise right now?
I never... like they had
the
a financial
supplements
expert in my rig trial, and he said InfoWars is worth $130 million, and Alex Jones is worth $270 million. I don't have $2 million in cash. I don't have stocks and bonds. I don't have all that stuff. So it's like a joke. They can have $1 billion verdicts. It doesn't mean anything.
So they're expecting you to pay $45 million.
It's like $47 million or something like that total.
You think that in time you'll be able to do that?
Oh, no, it's what's ridiculous. Like, and they have 2 more trials coming up in Connecticut and in Texas. Everyone's like, yeah, we're going to get him. Like, they've built me up into like I'm this giant creature, like all powerful, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah. And
Alex Jones comparing himself. Listen, it's not body shaming. He's the one that compared himself to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, okay? It's not body shaming if he was the one who did it.
And none of it's real, so it's like it's funny actually. It's actually comical. I mean, it's actually hilarious. And then the Sandy Hook families, they already got $73 million from Remington. They're sitting there thinking they're about to get this big payday, and it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to keep the studio open?
Oh, I mean, I could do a show anywhere. I mean, they're not going to show anything. No, they could run off some of our employees. Yeah. They could shut down some of our people, which is their big job, to shut down America, get rid of American workers. I mean, that's the part for the course. But I mean,
we gotta shut down the American workers. That's their job, 100%. That's what the left wants, shutting down the American workers.
As long as I don't want to quit or they don't put me in prison, they can't stop anything.
Was there a definitive year where big tech really teamed up to deplatform InfoWars?
Yeah, it was 2018, early 2018.
Bay Area.
This is real, by the way. Big tech will come together to decide they want to blacklist somebody all at once, which usually when it happens, it's like pretty damn defendable, like with Alex Jones. But I can understand where the fear comes from, right? I can kind of understand the idea of like how so much of our lives at this point has gotten to be on the internet. My legs are cold. I got to use a blankie. So much of our lives is on the internet nowadays, you know? So the idea of being able to just have your entire internet life eviscerated is definitely scary, but there is yet to be very strong evidence that that's going to be a thing that just happens for no reason. Like Alex Jones took a lot for Alex Jones to get himself banned and blacklisted. I mean, the Sandy Hook shooting happened in 2012. The lawsuits and everything from that had been happening from 2012 till today and onward. He wasn't banned and blacklisted till 2018. That's 6 straight years of Alex Jones being a prominent political figure on YouTube and Twitch, all these platforms, and maybe not Twitch, but YouTube, Twitter, all that, before he was banned. The thing that should be scary to you is that these content creators don't actually have the TOS enforced against them like everybody else until all these platforms decide that they're enough of a liability that it's not worth the money to keep them platformed anymore. The fact they don't actually apply their TOS fairly is the thing that should be upsetting.
Tech giants are taking action against a prominent conspiracy theorist.
Twitter gives Alex Jones the boot. Just into CNN, Facebook is purging right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Apple, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube.
Oh my God! Imagine my shot!
Facebook said, "We have taken it down for glorifying violence and using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslim, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies."
That's about right.
They had the heads of big tech, so they got together and colluded to shut me down. I knew they had to censor freedom because freedom was so popular. I mean, I knew that was coming, yeah.
How did that affect your audience size?
It didn't let us have, on average, that giant viral spread every day reaching 20, 30 million people. Instead, it was 3, 4 million people that were hardcore, but then they understood there was censorship, so they were grassroots putting it down. So it actually made it more underground and more avant-garde, more black sheep, more rebel, and more outlaw. And so made it more successful in a way.
What would you do if you
He says as he's getting sued for millions and says he's got no money. I love how hard conservatives are still trying to cope that deplatforming doesn't work. Looking at Alex Jones's numbers compared to then and now is obvious enough. The only time Alex Jones's numbers have gone up has been during these trials of people wanting to see Alex Jones, you know, have justice done upon him, so to say.
You had a time machine?
You know, I think even though I got caught in their Sandy Hook trap and I was covered other people's theories and barely did it, wasn't much of what I did on the on the timeline.
Oh,
I think I do it all.
Alex, Mr. Jones, that watch is looking a little cheap. That watch is looking a little cheap. I don't know. It's definitely a nice looking watch, but this guy's got like a gold-plated Rolex collection. Or he did. Maybe he's not lying. Or maybe he put it on to, you know, fit the bill.
Wasn't much of what I did on the on the timeline. I think I do it all again. I think this is going to bring us to something bigger. I mean, technically, if I had it all over to do again, I wouldn't have been caught in that trap. But that's not how the universe works. I did these things, and I'm going with the flow.
Looks like there's a bit of metal on it.
I did it from a good heart. And I think it'll be turned towards good at the end of the day. So I'm not worried about it. And I believe humanity's going to wake up. I believe we're going to win.
Gotta fight the cloud people, people. Fight the cloud people. What a nice shot. These are the children that Alex Jones, by the way, claimed are crisis actors. So, these are the dead children. And I imagine there was also school staff that was killed too. I don't remember all of the details that were killed during the shooting, some of them at least. And their families, who are still alive and grieving, have been inundated with harassment since 2012 when their children died. For the last, nearly 10 years now, have had Alex Jones fans prying into their life because they think that proving Sandy Hook was a conspiracy that was fake might be the key to proving everything else. So they're going out of their way to harass these families and look for evidence these kids didn't exist or were actors or something like that. And Alex Jones is about being held accountable for starting all of that. The definition of cry bullying.
All right, so we're in Newtown, Connecticut, where the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting took place around 10 years ago. It's a special week for this town because for the first time ever, Alex Jones is being made to stand trial in Connecticut.
In a Connecticut courtroom just 20 miles from Sandy Hook, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones taking the stand, forced to face his own lies.
So right now we're on our way to go meet up with a trial attorney named Mark Bankston, who represented the Sandy Hook families in the previous defamation case in Texas.
Nobody thinks you killed the kid. Nobody thinks that, Alex. What you did, what you killed, is their ability to get over the death of their children. Look, I'm a
This guy's based and well-spoken.
parent, and I know my job. My job is to protect my
He's a lawyer, so of course he's well-spoken, but, you know, he's spitting.
kid. They couldn't be with their kids on December 12th, 2012, right? Like, they couldn't do that. And so when that happened, their job changed. Their job became to protect their kid's legacy. And so every day that this kept going on and they couldn't stop it, these parents are feeling like they're failing their kids over and over and over again. And I put that on Alex Jones more than anybody else in the country.
So, for those who don't know, can you describe the extent of the harassment that was experienced by the Sandy Hook families?
There's no way I could do it just sitting here with you. It's unreal. Initially, it just started with rough contacts. You get people who were emailing them, people would find out their phone number, call them on the phone. But then
I want to say, by the way, I'm just a left-wing YouTuber who dares to have the, like, progressive opinion online, which is, like, pretty, you know, a good way to get a lot of hate and harassment online. But, like, overall, I don't get even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the hate that those families likely got. Imagine somebody from the internet coming to your home in real life and rooting through your garbage outside your house. Somebody who thinks that you're part of the leftist, Jewish, global elite pedophile cabal. Yeah. Vosh doesn't get what those families got. I don't know if there are a lot of content creators out there, even on the left, that you could say have got maybe Brianna Wu and Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn. I think they might be on tier. Keffels, if Keffels keeps dealing with what she's dealt with for like the next decade, then yeah, assuming it like doesn't happen as much anymore, it kind of winds down. It'll probably level out to that of your average content creator. You have to understand that like the hatred for these figures like Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian, Brianna Wu, I mean, these are figures who just had magnitudes more attention and hate on them. They started entire cultural movements. Not that they started it. Hate for them. Misguided, mischaracterized hate for them started entire cultural movements. Demon Mama too? Yeah, Demon Mama gets a lot of hate too. She probably is on, like, for her size, probably gets, you know, quite a bit, yeah. Especially because she's a trans woman. And, like, here's my opinion. I think that if you are of a certain... I don't think it's a matter of, like, you can't make it in this space or any other space if you're part of a marginalized group. I think it means the barrier is higher. And I think specifically when it comes to trans women and the debate brosphere, I think the barrier is higher for acceptance. Higher than it would be for others. Forgiveness seems a little bit less willing to be offered oftentimes. So yeah, I get that. I get the idea of the harassment. Yeah, I could see it. Let's continue.
Then you had people starting to show up in Newtown and destroy the memorials they had for their kids. They had people showing up at their homes, knocking on their door. They had people going around and talking to their neighbors. And then it just kept escalating as more and more people got caught into the wildness of it. There's Lucy Richards, right? Who was a woman who I have to have some level of sympathy with on some way because she's mentally ill. But she got obsessed with all these narratives and about Lenny Posner. She was in Central Florida. And when it got disclosed that that's where Lenny had moved to, and InfoWars put up his Boca Raton mailbox where he picks up his mail.
Well, I've got an article here from a guy I think was our last caller. He's been getting all kinds of grief from Mr. Posner. Social media shut down due to Sandy Hook false copyrights. What's interesting is they list the address for the Honor Network in Boca Raton, Florida, 908 North Dixie Highway. There is no suite, but it's got 2 different buildings listed that address.
Well, we'll just start investigating that. And I guess I'm going to have to probably go on up to Newtown. I'm going to have to probably go investigate Florida as well.
She decided, okay, that's my call to action. So she started stalking.
That is a direct, that's both a call to action and not only a call to action, but also an announcement that he'll be doing the same that he's encouraging his audience to do. No wonder, I wonder why he lost the case, dude. Must have been a rigged court.
Lenny and Veronique through Central
rigged
Florida.
Trial.
She would call and leave these messages, and I don't know if you've ever heard him, man, and maybe we'll get a hold of him for you or something just so people can understand what this is, but creepy.
Did you hide your imaginary son in the attic? Are you still f***ing him? You f***ing Jew bastard? Look behind you. Death is coming to you real soon.
Just this awful, hateful stuff.
So that is a look at the types of people who are obsessed and love Alex Jones. The deranged boomers, like that lady, they love Alex Jones. They censored the word. I don't think that she said the word Jew.
Slurs and at him and that don't even make any sense. I mean, she called him the N-word and accused him that Noah is still alive and that he's got Noah in the attic and sexually assaults him every night. And even after she was arrested by federal law enforcement, and then she was sentenced to federal prison for a short period, part of her conditional release is she cannot access InfoWars. She's just simply not allowed to do that as a condition of her parole. I'm an X-Files kid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a late 90s conspiracy guy. Man, conspiracy culture used to be fun. It used to not be so malicious and cruel. Area 51... fish-human hybrids, Roswell. I mean, it was kind of fluffy in its own way. Like, it didn't really matter at the end of the day what's at Area 51. It was a mystery box we could all have fun with. And there was...
That's the thing, man. I wish we could go back. Now every conspiracy theory leads back to the Jews, or somebody's trying to make it that way. Like, you can watch a conspiracy theory that's about how, like, the sun isn't real and it's actually a giant disc in the sky, but then somebody who believes that and is prominent in that community believes the Jews are hiding the truth. Almost always, with every conspiracy theory where there is somebody hiding the truth, they always basically hint, nudge, it's the Jews. It's like almost every, conspiracy theory at this point, and it's sad.
There was a time when Alex Jones was hilarious. We just all kind of like watched him when he in his early days. But the moment he started commanding, I'll tell you, it goes hand in hand with the damn supplements.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure at Infowars.com. We sell books, videos, t-shirts, high-quality water filters, shortwave radios, cook stoves, survival food of the highest quality. Brain Force sold out in 4 days. Liver Shield sold out in a week. Prostagard sold out in a month. We have the highest quality
Prostagard. I feel like I might know what Prostagard is. I don't know why, but that one stood out. Oh my god. Is it like a prostate guard? Is that what that means? Did this motherfucker make some kind of like prostate cancer prevention drug called Prostagard. It's it's to keep you from getting pegged. It actually makes it so your butthole muscles tighten, like a vice. Just very tightly, and it means that nothing could get in there.
Nutraceuticals out there, bar none.
The government is going to starve you by the prepackaged food, right? The government has released radiation into the environment by the iodine. We were seeing that basically right after the month of Sandy Hook, his traffic went up darn near 50%. From all the coverage he was doing that month of the hoax. So that caused them to double down because they've testified on the record. If we see traffic spikes, we try to emulate that. When Alex Jones said the school wasn't an operating school, when he said paramedics never even entered the building, when he said there are pictures of the children who they say died who are still alive, he didn't believe that shit. I don't believe Alex Jones thinks there's anything fishy about Sandy Hook, but he's going to keep saying it even right now. He's still going to be weird about it.
Why?
It's not a matter of whether you believe it or not. It's a matter of whether you have carved a groove in your personality that the wheel just goes in that rut now. I think it would force a moment of ego.
That's actually a very good way to describe it. You've carved out a path for yourself, and now your wheels just kind of follow that rut. That's such a good way to describe it. That's a good analogy. I like this lawyer. I like him.
He's not ready to confront.
The InfoWars store is like the main revenue source, yeah?
I mean, if I need it to be. If I need to, I can go to supporters and just get straight donations.
Yeah.
So
how do you go about doing that?
Just ask them for the money.
The jury came.
Wait. Chat, give me money. Please, money me now. I like money me now. I like money me. Give money, gib. Gib.
Came in this evening with $4.2 million. I admitted that I followed disinformation, but not on purpose. I apologize to the families. What I did to those families was wrong, but I didn't do it on purpose. We are so broke. But if you don't fund us, if you don't buy products at InfoWarsStore.com, we will shut down. So get a t-shirt, get a book, get Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, get Vitamin Mineral Fusion, get them all at InfoWarsStore.com and keep us on the air.
What do you think he deserves at the end of this road?
To no longer be in public life, right? Like, people have been like, oh, you're out to destroy Alex Jones. I don't want to destroy him. I don't care. If he wants to work at Safeway or manage a Sprint store, I don't care. I feel the right amount of justice is you should not be able to commercially market your.
I love the idea of Alex Jones working at a Sprint store. That is really funny. That's a really funny thought. That went hard.
Self as a public figure anymore. Like, you should exit the American stage. That's what I think is the correct result. Or at least that's what I think is the most utilitarian good result. But the money's not even really the question for me. The question is, will this suit be successful at stopping him from being on the national stage? And my worry is, like we said in the courthouses, it won't be, because the cameras will still follow him. Like, he can lose all of his money. He gets out there again on the bullhorn, and he starts building it right back up.
No, I told you I was going to shut it down before they sued me and shit. Not happening now.
You were going to shut down InfoWars?
I was going to hand it off to the people. Not now. It's not a labor of love now. It's a labor of war.
It's a labor of war.
He shut the shit down.
So
I like how he's just eating ribs.
This cause of action against Jones on behalf of
eating ribs in front of Alex Jones is a pretty strong power move. I feel like if I was eating ribs in front of Alex Jones, I wouldn't bother with a napkin. Nothing. Just start eating it like a fucking animal in front of him. Assert dominance. Start like ripping the ribs in half with my bare hands and like stripping them like bare and in like single bites. Basically, basically express to him that this is what I will do to you. I will eat your raddest ass.
These parents come to represent something bigger. Is it a bigger referendum on the false things he's saying? I hope so, man. I hope so.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see me picking my teeth, my enemy's bones.
Wait, hey, you guys can't say it's weird for me to make a cannibalism joke when he did the same thing seconds later. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, stop it. No, Internet historian, you will not autoplay. Interesting. Yeah, that video was wild. Alex Jones really is a reprehensible piece of shit. What I really liked about that video in particular was that it featured the lawyer. The lawyer was my favorite part, without a doubt. I really, really liked the lawyer. The defense attorney, or was it, would it be defense? I forget what the exact term was. The attorney on behalf of the parents. Here, I'm dropping the link to the video in chat. I do not want you guys to, of course, not have a link to the video. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. There you go. All right, well, I really like the lawyer. The lawyer was my favorite part. He used some perfect analogies. He hit the nail right on the head. I know it was, like, edited, so it was, like, that made it flow much better, but, like, he could definitely do well as, like, a public speaker online, like, speaking out about this stuff. Like, if he just made a YouTube channel and started talking about this, he'd blow up fast. He's a good speaker. He knows what he's talking about. And he's, like, charismatic, too. He seems like a chill, relatable guy. That guy should make a YouTube channel and legal it up. Next thing you know, his YouTube channel's making him more money than his law career. Zan, have you heard of this cool indie game called Ultra Kill? I have not heard of it, but I'll look into it some other time. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like, whether you're watching live or after the fact when this video goes up. It really does help out the channel a lot, more than you even realize. And of course, if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon so YouTube tells you when I go live. Make sure to follow my social medias, linked down below in the description. Right there. There they are. Twitter is the best one. Twitter is where all the memes happen. There's a bee flying around my face right now, and I'm trying to, like, not get stung by it. But yeah. Links down in the description below. Twitter is the best one, although we also got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, fan Discord, and all of that. And of course, if you got the money for it and you don't need it for anything else and you don't know what to do with it, you can always support me financially by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub at xanderhall.com/live. And you can always just, support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or also through Patreon too. It's always up to you. But of course, regardless of how you support me, I always appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.